Okay, let's go ahead and bring on our next speaker. Give me 1 second. All right, so I'm bringing our next speaker on. I'm going to move them to the webinar. And let me pull up my phone so that I can let you all know what you're in store for. So, before I get started, would you please help me pronounce your name? I don't want to butcher it. I've been saying everything, and I want to make sure that I'm saying it correctly. So would you mind pronouncing your name for me?
Yes, uh, thank you. My name is Naba Iritah Shenmira.
Okay, I think I had it right. I need to trust myself. I had it right. I was
Got
saying
it.
Naba Iritah. Okay, awesome. So he's here to dive into some amazing traditional African medicine. There's been so many people in the chat who are here waiting to hear some amazing African medicine. And we do have someone here that is here to show us and to fill us in and to inform us on Indigenous African herbalism of the Dogon perspective of healing. So we're going to drop Naba's links in the chat. So if you're not familiar with his works, go ahead, admin, and share his links. This brother is very, very, very knowledgeable, and he is sharing so much to the world on Indigenous medicine from his culture. So I'm excited to dive in. He also along with doing conferences and having different offerings, he does retreats as well. He just wrapped up a retreat literally days ago, and he's here. So we value you and your time and showing up in this space after just holding space, which I do retreats. So I know those retreats can get a lot, they can get a little, it's a lot going on. So I appreciate you for being here and just wrapping up this big offering. So thank you so much. I'm going to let you take over and give us this amazing information on traditional African medicine. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. And yes, just finished the retreat and drive from New York all the way to Houston, and I'm here. So I hope I don't look too tired. Well, coming from the Dogon tribe, the way we approach medicine is at the same time a way of life. So a way of life is a style that we have there because even our food itself is considered to be medicine, and everything that goes in our diet, in our food, is really like medicine at the same time. But our perspective on the human being with nature, human being, and the environment is on three foundation that we understand how human being can heal themselves and how human being can move forward in working on their well-being, because we can't really work on our well-being, work on medicine, without us being in harmony with the environment in which we live, or being without us having an understanding of nature, the nature that we live in. So we understand medicine to be applied in three main level, especially the spiritual level, first of all, the energetic level, and then the physical level. So we function with the understanding that the body actually gets to be kind of handicapped, or the body gets to be experiencing some sicknesses or ailments and anything like that, due to the fact that spiritually or energetically there might be some blockages, some energetic blockages, or some spiritual or blockages that actually end up affecting the physical aspect of the human being. So when we speak about the energetic, we understand the human being to be like that pyramid, in the zone of that pyramid, and the spirit is the one that's actually the highest, and then the energetic and the physical are like on the foundation, at the base. So the spirit of the human being is something that what I notice when I travel in the West is that human beings don't eat food, or human beings don't treat themselves with the mindset of at the same time treating their energetic manifestation or their spiritual manifestation. So we understand the human being body to be the material manifestation of the human being, spirit. But at the same time, the human being body has like energies, is like a manifestation of energies, but those energies are also viewed as the human body. So we have to be able to function, uh, deal with the healing, on those three aspects, to be able to come up with the solution that we're looking for the human being. Now the other thing is that nature, the nature we live in, somehow, consider is to be part of it. Consider it to be like also part of, its manifestation. So we are educated, when we grown up, we are educated to view every plant, to view every tree, to view everything that exists, in nature, especially the vegetation, to view everything as entities at the same time. And those entities, we consider ourselves to be entities. That's why we speak about us having like an ID, like identity. So once we acknowledge ourselves, we will have to be, you know, at the stage where we have to also acknowledge anything that exists, in our surrounding. So every plant, everything that we deal with, we see every wake up and see every day, and all of that are things that we work to really have like that, very strong relationship, but that comes from the understanding that those beings are more trusted, like Mother Earth and all of the powers on Earth, trusting those beings, those entities that we call trees and plants and all of that, more than the way Mother Earth trust us, because those beings, those entities don't move. They're like stable. They just, depend on the sun. They depend on the energy coming from the earth. They depend on the water, and all of that, and the air and all of that. So we depend on those things as well as human beings. But our only handicap is that we move a lot. We have the notion of, motion, the concept of motion, where we move a lot. Today you here, next day you are somewhere else, even in your own house. You have like, kitchen, sleeping room, backyard and all of that. So we move a lot. The fact that we move a lot, then the mother nature, will decide to trust more the entities within it that don't move a lot and that are stable. So due to that kind of handicap that we have, we are educated to be able to align ourselves, with those same entities that Mother Earth also trusted, and then depend on them. Now, once we reach that level, then we now have to open the gates that will allow us now to be able to, have that connection with any plants or any tree that exists in our surrounding, meaning enter into the dialogue. And we speak about dialogue when there's like someone who's speaking and then another person who's receiving, and back and forth, right? So then we will have to learn how to enter into the dialogue with those entities. And it's through that dialogue that those entities now allow us to know, their virtues, their properties, and how to use them, when to use them, what for, and all of that, depending on if it's the roots, if it's the bark, if it's the branches, the leaves, and all of that. So we end up, almost like making our body be acknowledged by the a specific tree that is there, that kind of has properties that want to contribute in our life and all of that. So at the same time, that kind of dialogue of energy happen only when we ourselves as human beings have a strong connection with our what we call like our bioali, meaning like our energetic platform that the earth itself, dedicated to us when we were born. So we have the understanding that every human being that gets to come in life, the earth has to create a specific energy platform for every human being. In our language, we call it the bioali. Bioali is just a channel of the energy manifestation that comes from the earth. And then every human being has a platform that's connected to that, that channel of manifestation. So within that, we see also that all of the plants have that same energy, platform that the earth feeds them. So we work already at the roots of ourselves as healers, as priests and all of that. We work already on ourselves to make sure that our energetic platform is in harmony with the energetic platform of other entities dwelling in our surrounding, right? Like those entities in the vegetation and all of that, the way they dwell and all of that. Now, that's just to talk about the natural manifestation of the divine power, which is like when we see the forest growing, no one planted the forest. It's just like a divine manifestation. We see some plants, some trees growing. We just, they just grow. It's not like someone is there watering them and taking care of them. So we see the divinity, the concept of divinity in those type of, plants and everything. Now, we have also the plants that we ourselves, we grow, meaning like plants that we domesticated those plants that we domesticated, that's just like plants that, throughout the ages and, generation to generations, those plants serve our, ancestors, our elders, some way that, as the youth, we grow up, we learn those ways, and then we keep researching to try to understand, how we can use those plants and all of that, especially the equation, the recipes and all of that. So I'm coming from a culture where, there's been thousands of years of recipes that, our ancestors kept and then transmitted from, mouth to here, from your older generation to younger generation, from mother to, daughter, from father to, son. And then we kind of, just, keep those things dear to ourselves. And then that's why I said they end up becoming like our way of life, meaning like we don't get to be a healer, an herbalist, some point, and then the next day we like an accountant somewhere in the office. So we just have it like in our everyday life to the point where even our mothers, when they cook in the kitchen, any food that they're cooking, they have the understanding that the food needs to be healing. The food needs to contain elements of healing that needs to go in it. So then every time that they cook their sauce or they cook whatever they cook in their soup and all of that, there's always those ingredients. For sure, we eat food to sustain the body, but we also eat food to sustain the spirit. Now, the in trying to sustain the body, we have to keep in mind the concept of also creating balance in the body. The sustenance of the body is one thing, but understanding the balance of all of the component, all of the element in the body is a whole another aspect as well. So due to that we reach the level right now where even with the organizations that we started in America, in England and Canada now, talking about herbal, remedies and all of that, we're trying to just come with those old recipes, those very old recipes that we kept, that our ancestors, transmitted to us, and then come here and then share it. Now, the only handicap is that, of course, our culture is not in this, reality, in this more Western reality, then we will have to now take time to understand every human being depending on their background, depending on their energetic, spiritual composition, in order for us to be able to understand their physical, manifestation, and then see what kind of recipes or what kind of, remedies that we may bring to be able to solve the problems that we face every day in our societies, especially in the modern society where the medical system is controlling human health and all of that. So the other thing I really want to share, because we all here are healers and we all here have the concept of the preservation of life, and we want to preserve life. So only thing I want to share is that we have to already within our houses, in our families and all of that, start, putting the concept of everyone understanding that every plant that we see in our backyard, every plant that we see on the side of the road, every plant that we see in the forest and the trees and all of that, all of those, have a way of communicating. They have their way of dialoguing and communicating with us, which demand us to, what will force us to kind of submit ourselves to the channel of communication that they use in order for us to be able to, understand them and then learn from them, especially their virtues, learn from them about their powers and their essence and all of that in order for them to serve us instead of just like moving and thinking that because those plants don't move, those trees don't talk, then they just there and it's just manifestation. Then we will have to be the one, the human being, to be able to kind of submit ourselves, and then try to learn from them. In the retreat last weekend, I was just explaining how uh, the only problem we have is the speech. And for us human beings, we tend to just depend on anything that has a speech. So we have animals that don't have speech, but we cherish them. Everybody has a pet. They have tongue, they have everything. They just don't have the speech to talk or to express themselves, in the matter of speaking and all of that. But we trust them, we cherish them, we take good care of them, we try to understand them, we try to connect our emotions, to them, and we try to understand their emotion. They try to also understand our emotion, then we create that connection between us and the animals and us and our pets and all of that. But what we also have to work hard on is us being able to connect very well with those other entities, that exist in our environment, like the plants, the trees, and all of that, that don't have the tongue and that don't have the speech. Because they don't have the tongue, because they don't speak, does not mean that, and because they don't move, does not mean that they are not in a perpetual connection or dialogue with us. So most of the time, we observe how human being especially in the modern society, human being, we kind of just, go by, our life, and then we ignore that. We don't even have that the knowledge that everything that exists, that's fed by the earth, that's dependent on the earth, and that's that has been stable and then has been just staying in one place and growing. We tend to just don't think like they have a very, important role to play in our life, but somehow they have, and that's what our ancestors understood. And they kind of understood that, and then learn how to submit themselves to those realities, and then learn from them. Just like the way we learn from our pets, we learn from nature, from the trees. We learn also from the star system, the cosmos. We learn from everything. So human being, according to our culture, are those that actually come to learn, because either way, plants can survive up to 300 years, 200 years. Some even trees can go all the way to 1,000 years. We've seen that. The human being, that's just like, a fraction. We can't even, our life is just like a fraction in the life of those entities that we call, trees and nature and all of that. And I want to make sure it's clear to everyone listening that there's a difference between a plant and then a spice, because spices also come from plants, but they happen to be, the ingredients that also have a specific use in the way that we put our medicine together, in the way that, the plants would, allow us to kind of use them for the well-being of our spirit, well-being of our energy and energetic well-being, or, our physical well-being. So, do we really have control over the plants? Do we have control over the medicine? No, we actually, in my culture, we actually understand that those realities that we are born to see, because they've been here before us. Some of them have been here before us, so we are born to see them. And somehow, some of us who live in those realities will still be here. So when you look at the history of life, or the life expectancy of us, the human being, and the plants, the trees that exist in nature, you will see that our life is just like a fraction, in those realities' life. So technically, those realities, somehow, some of them already got a chance to see how our father lived his life, how our grandfather lives his life, how our great grandfather lives his life, and all of that and all of that. So somehow they have, an idea of our being and our composition, our energetic and spiritual composition. Now, why? Because they already have the experience of being with, experiencing the life of those that you and I can consider to be our ascendants. We can consider to be our parents, our ancestors who already lived on the same earth, dwell in the same nature, and then work with those plants, those entities, and all of that. So uh, also, we have to understand that those plants, in my culture, we look at every plant that you have, that you come across, that you see. We look at them as the dwelling of other entities. I don't know if that's, going to be too deep, but, we look at them as the dwelling of other entities, meaning like the same way you wake up and then you feel like you wake up in your house, you go work, you come back in your house and all of that. So those plants, each of those plants represent a house for other beings. And those beings are the beings that I think in modern world you will understand them as the beings that dwell in the light, the light beings. So those beings, have those realities, those natural manifestation as their house, and to be able to deal with submit yourself to the physical manifestation of the plant, of the tree, then it allow you now to be able to also enter into connection with with the beings that dwell within that physical manifestation that we call the tree, or that we call the plant. So we will have to also make the difference between a plant and then a medicine. Because what's the medicine? In herbal medicine, in our understanding, it has to be something that is proven, and then something that's been, time tested, time tested and proven to be working for generation after generation after generation. So, and the medicine cannot just be only one plant or one entity, because we understand nature to function as a collective, collective entity. So because nature function as a collective entity, in the composition of our plant, of our recipes, we will also have to understand these plants that, we probably understand better. How can we, use that plant and then, heal, let's say like diabetes, cancer, or, elevate the spirit of a human being, or, allow ourselves to, go to other spaces and all of that. Then that plant is at the same time is the one to show you, or to dialogue with you, and then reveal you the other plants that's kind of that same plant is dependent on to function, like the other plants that that plant is in harmony with, that kind of come to really, achieve the goal. So that's really like something that, for a long time, for many, many generations now in our culture, we've been really initiated and educated to, function that way instead of, just, depending on our own thing, but we also depend on the manifestation of those powers, and then we make ourselves the students to those realities and all of that. There's a lot of things happening. Yeah. So yeah, this is where I will just stop, and then maybe some questions can help me go into everything, where like I get to focus on few things and all of that. People who have questions.
Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. We're definitely over here listening intently to all of the knowledge that you were sharing. And we do actually have time for questions. Let me go ahead and pull up just to make sure we're on schedule right now. I think we have a little bit of extra time actually. So if you all have any questions, go ahead and drop it in the Q&A. Yeah, we have a good 15 plus 20 minutes. So let's just go ahead and do a Q&A session. We have a lot of time left over. So we appreciate all of that valuable information that you dropped and that you shared. We're going to bring up the Q&A chat. This may be the first time where we can get through all the Q&As that we have for the day. So let's go ahead. I'm going to start from the bottom and work my way up. So someone wants to know, Dominique asks, what are the most common herbs from your tribe, the Dogon tribe? Can you mention any that you work with?
Yeah, we have plants that are specifically for the spiritual elevation that you get to, bathe, and even like a young age, we all have to, go through that, bathe those herbs where we allow Mother Nature to see us as favorable anywhere we go. Meaning like you don't want to be perceived by Mother Nature and the powers dwelling in nature as a terrorist. You don't want to be perceived that way. So you have to be, you have to bathe those herbs and then have, those essence of the herbs in you. So we also have the herbs that are specifically just for the energetic, work, kind of purifying the energies, cleansing the energies, and then recharging the energies and all of that. And then we have those that also are just for the physical manifestation, meaning like any blockage that we will be noticing in our body, then we have those specific plants. So we identify, three levels of plants, but we also identify three ways of the manifestation of the plant, which is spiritual, energetic, and physical, as I said, the same way that we deal with those plants at the same time. Now, talking about specific herbs and plants that we use, a lot of people ask me those questions, most of the time because, people want me to really give like the name, the Roman or Latin, names of the plant or the European concept of the plant. I just want to make sure here that everybody understand that we have been a culture that has been preserving itself and close on ourselves, where it's only like the last probably 30 years or 50 years that, our, people start allowing, some of our wisdom and knowledge and all of that to be coming up. But before that, we've been like on ourselves to the point where it was difficult for European universities or European studies and all of that to be able to reach us to even study or identify some of our plants to even consider them to be, part of certain family that they already classify. So we are very, close and secretive on those aspects. But to mention few of the plants that we work with, that has been so important. We have one that we call Ninika, and another one that we call Sule. And those are just like a mixture of some roots and barks of different specific trees that we know their recipes, we know their essence and what they do. But what does the medicine do? The medicine actually works on the cholesterol and then purify the blood. And then the other one works on the kidneys, the liver, and then purify them and then boost them, give them a way of function. So in our culture, every 2 weeks or every month, we have to be taking those medicine because we know that everything we eat goes, but it's not everything that comes out, and it's not everything that the body actually uses. So some of those things become like heavy loads on some of the organs, especially the organs that deal with the digestion. So we take those herbs like constantly to kind of keep ourselves clean and all of that. And we have other herbs that we use for spiritual cleansing, especially the space cleansing, and then the body cleansing, but also the spiritual cleansing that we have that allow us to always keep ourselves harmonious and then be in harmony with the environment, with the body, and then with the spirit.
Thank you for that. And like the chat, many of us do resonate with close practices and keeping some of these herbs and sacred rituals within the community. That actually is a thing for a lot of Indigenous cultures, especially over here for Indigenous Americans. A lot of those rituals or these rituals we practice or they practice is close practice because through colonization, a lot of people can like to appropriate certain things and they take a lot of things without understanding what we're doing and why we're doing it, and it's not used the right way. So we appreciate what you can share with us. We appreciate what you did share. I know a lot of people had questions about your tribe specifically. People were sharing knowledge in the chat about the Dogon tribe. Can you talk more about your tribe? I know this answer, but can you share to people where the Dogon tribe is indigenous at in Africa?
Yeah, the Dogons are actually a up echelon, tribe within the, all of the tribes that exist in Africa. But why, the Dogons are considered to be like the upper echelon of all of the wisdom keeping and all of that is, it goes back all the way to Nile Valley, before the fall of, the temples in the mystery schools in Nile Valley before the Roman and the Greeks came, to really conquer and then invade and all of that. So some of the, lineages were asked to kind of migrate with the attempt of protecting some of the wisdoms that, knowledge, archives that we don't want to fall in the hands of the one who's coming to invade, the one who's coming to colonize. So instead of remaining behind and then fighting them, and then losing everything because when they come, they just burn and destroy and all of that, kill. And later on, they want to sit down and then ask you, oh, why, how did you do this? What's this? What's that? So somehow at some point, the Pharaoh ordered like some of the lineages that have been working on a specific, topic or specific aspect of a human life in relation to the invisible, the material and the non-material. So they were asked to migrate to a place where they can preserve themselves for some generation and restart the culture. So you will see Dogons, because during the migration, we have like settlements all over, the migration, during the migration. So there's some settlement in the around the Chad, there's some settlement over there, but they are very close. They're not going to reveal themselves. And then there's some settlement around Niger, some settlement around Burkina Faso, some around the northern Benin, some also around Mali. I think the one in Mali is the one that everybody is really know about. The other family member that dwell in the cliffs in Abadjangara, those are the ones that everybody know about. But you can see that once they reveal themselves, to be who they are and everything. Now we have like a UNESCO, UN, and everything, falling there and making it now become like a village or a tourist village where like now everybody just come, and then it's difficult to practice the culture. It's difficult for them not to really, put themselves and practice everything. So because of that example, so many of the tribe that you will see in the northern Ghana, the eastern Burkina, northern Burkina, in the northern Benin, northern Togo, Chad, Niger, and all of that. Most of us are kind of went back into ourselves and then protecting the knowledge that we exist all around West Africa, because it was proper for us to dwell around those areas, because our ancestors understood that it would not be easy for the colonizer or the invader to deal with the heat in the Sahara Desert. And at that moment, it was difficult for the colonizer to also travel all around the western side of Africa, by boat to get to to the coast. So then our ancestors decided to settle in between the Sahara Desert and then the coast. So with that, they were able to restart the culture, the the temples and everything, and then continue the initiatic process, and then build the generation and all of that. But now it just happened kind of in the lineages. That's what happened now in the lineages, and then for someone to leave like another place to come and say that I'm coming to learn, yeah, they will receive you. They will teach you a few things, but they're not going to teach you what they themselves they teach to themselves, unless they really see like, yeah, you didn't come to study them, but you came to learn from them, meaning like you didn't come looking at them from above, you being above and them being down, and then judging them and all of that, but you came to really adopt their ways, then they will adopt you as well and then start giving you the knowledge.
Thank you. Thank you for that history lesson. I got more than what I was expecting. So hopefully you all got a little bit more too
Yes.
out of that. We're going to go ahead and dive into some more questions. We do have a little bit extra time. A lot of people seem to have questions surrounded around energies and beings, as you mentioned. Colin says, first of all, great presentation. You mentioned light beings and dark beings. Is there anything, or I guess any herbs, or any methods you can suggest for protection, for protecting ourselves against these?
Yeah, we have a very powerful herb that actually we brought it in the West that we sell, and it's called Kozasonga. I think if you have to classify that herbs, it will be classified as something. It's basil, and holy basil. It will be classified as holy basil, but this one is very kind of raw, and then very indigenous. But they're different. They're very different, but classification wise, you can just use that. But we also, use that herbs, we just bathe it, you put in water, you mix with certain things, and then you bathe it every now and then. Most of the time, I do myself every full moon. When there's a full moon, then I'll make sure to bathe, that herbs to kind of discharge and then recharge. And on one of our events, online virtual event, I was also showing people how to use an egg, because an egg, that's life. Chicken egg is like life in becoming, right? So any dark energies or dark entities or any heaviness that we may have, all of that also carry, wants to attach to a life. So then in our culture, the chicken egg is considered to be like the universe, like the mini universe. And because it's considered to be the mini universe, so we can use it, to cleanse ourselves by rubbing and all of that. I think we still have that thing online that people can check. And we also have other plants that we burn. Those one are actually already prepared, meaning like there's many plants that come together to prepare with the intelligence of targeting specifically the energies or specifically the spirits or anything like that. And even we have herbs for dreams, like for people who wake up and then don't remember their dreams, or they feel like they just slept and then they don't see dreams, or their dreams don't take them to the places that they want to be at. So we even have herbs that we ask you to burn, smoke yourself or bathe before you go to bed, every night, and then you see yourself, being transported, channels opening, So it's like what I said at the beginning. We are three-dimensional being for sure, but we have the ability to also go into the fourth dimension, fifth dimension, or all of the other dimension if the body is very well cleansed, harmonious, and then recharged with the energies that project lights, that project, the intention of elevating and then preservation. Yeah.
Thank you for answering that in depth. Could you share, you mentioned holy basil. Could you share the name for holy basil and your tribe and language?
Yeah, that would be Kozosongo.
Okay, so someone asked in the chat, y'all got that? I don't know how to spell it, but
Yeah, that would be Kozosongo. Kozosongo.
all right, we're gonna go to the next question. Flo B asked about talking to the plants and these entities and energies. What is your method, and or what do you think is the best method to be able to communicate with plants, herbs, entities, and energies?
Well, there's a specific, initiatic system, meaning like you have to be one face-to-face initiation where like we lead you through all of those steps. But if I can give a global perception of it, it's just that, we don't just wake up and go get the leaves or the bark or the root of a plant with that first entry into dialogue with that plant. And to enter a dialogue, we have to uh, negotiate. And then during the negotiation, what do we give? Most of the time, we will take like some salt or some grains or maybe some coins or some cowrie shells is what we would take. But also to get the herbs, the time of the day matter for some certain plants. So some plants, in the morning have more power, and then you can go get it at that moment, and then the plant carry all of the essence of the plant. Some loses their power in the morning, and then they get their power at night, and some it's like in the middle of the day. So depending on which plant we're dealing with, then to approach it and negotiate, and then the element that you need to bring, the material that you need to bring to negotiate is also very important to know. So as I said, it has to be like a, physical, initiation where we take you through that. And then it's not something that is, difficult for people to do. It's easy. It's just take the initiation. It just take for the person to receive the guidelines or to receive the knowledge. And now, in my experience, the biggest challenge for the people who try to come and learn from us is the heaviness of the heart, because the only thing that those entities can see about us is not really about our speech. It's more about the rhythm of our heart, and everything that our heart is pumping for, or presenting and manifesting. So that's what the plant will see. So to the point where you don't even need to be using your speech to talk to the plant, just standing in front of it. If your heart is light, and then it's lighter, it's not too heavy, then you can already enter into that connection, and you some people can even feel like some, you call it goosebumps or something like that in the on the body when they're in the presence where that communication is happening. They might not have the clairvoyance to see exactly what's happening, but they may feel like this plant just open up and then receive them. And then it goes like that. But it has to be like a one-on-one or face-to-face, practice.
Thank you for that. Someone has a question in regards to assessing a person for a certain problem. So is there, I guess, any method that is there a Dogon method of assessing a person? Let's just say if I came in and I was dealing with some digestive issues. The Dogon tribe, Dogon people have a certain method of assessing what is wrong with a person as well as recommending herbs? Because we all know different West African cultures have different ways of, being able to connect to certain gods to be able to let us know what's going on and things like that. So does your tribe have a specific method of assessing?
Yeah, we have two methods that are actually complementary, because it's not just about the stomach ache or indigestion problem. Because for us, if you come to me and then you say you have indigestion problem, that can be considered as a symptom of something that's happening in the body. That can be like a symptom of one of the organs struggling to function, right? So we have a physical assessment, which is a contact. There's a contact that we follow the energy line because human being body has a structure, energy structure that we understand, that we follow those, and then we put the pressure. I think I saw someone practicing acupuncture, and I'm like, oh, that's like something that is similar to the way we do it, but we just don't do that to heal. Like, the way in acupuncture, like you go to get acupuncture to heal yourself, but in our practice, the diagnostic, we're doing it to assess the body, and then once we find where the blockage is, then we take that to a system that we call the language of the gods, or the sacred language, meaning I think in English you will call it geomancy. Geomancy meaning like reading the earth. Now, once we have your problem, then we take your problem to Mother Earth, and we have a system of reading the energies of the earth, of the individual, of the person. So we question the earth why this sister or this brother is having this problem. What's the problem? Because one thing you will have to also remember is that we all are coming from lineages. And then some of our lineages, after, whatever happened in human history, a lot of things changed, some disconnected and all of that. But there's certain things that within the lineages that don't finish. Things that you call, forbiddens, totems, things like that, like things that you're not supposed to eat because your lineage has a contract, your lineage has a kind of some type of harmony with those elements. Like for instance, in my lineage, we're not supposed to eat alligators to the point where when I'm driving from Texas to New York, I'm not gonna eat food the whole time I'm in the South, especially not in Louisiana. I'm just gonna keep going because I know I might eat something that contain, a product of the alligator that can get me, sick. So we have the concept of the forbidden. We have the concept of the totems. So animals, things that you're not supposed to be eating, and depending on the lineage you're born with, you coming from, and depending on the time you are born, like the time of the year you are born or the time of the day you are born and all of that. So there are certain things that you're not supposed to be, consuming or killing or digesting. So we have all of that. So first of all, we will have to check, is your digestion problem, something that is ancestry related? Is it something that is energetically related, or is it just something that is physical related? So then we will have to check all of that to be able to now find the right recipe to provide for the person to kind of get the healing proper.
Awesome. We don't want to keep you too long. I want to answer or ask one more question and then I'll let you go. The question was, I'm going to just summarize it. It's in regards to herbs and plants and their connection to astrology and stars. Can you share a little bit more about that from the Dogon perspective when it comes to herbs and their connection to astrology and the stars according to your tribe?
Yeah, that's actually that's a big topic. But let me summarize it a little bit. Uh, during the during the retreat that we just had in New York, I was explaining to everyone how you or every human being represents a star in the star system. So each one of us, you, me, I have a star that is in the star system. The reason why I will talk about elevation or enlightenment of my spirit is because my spirit is connected to a specific star in the star system that all my life or during my initiation, I'll be receiving the guidance to work in the way that I get to identify it and connect to it. But identify and connect to it is not like I'm traveling there. Because when we look at the star system in the sky, we forget that the planet that we live on is also part of the star system. Mother Earth is also part of the universe and is part of the star system. So if I want to be able to understand the star that I'm connected to, because I'm an element that has the destiny attached to one of the star system that I was born on and living on, I have to go through that one to be able to, connect myself with the one that is above that I'm connected to, right? So uh, the same way when you look in the vegetation, each one of us have a specific plant that is connected to us depending on the day we came on earth, the day we were born, and then why we are born, why we're here. Every human being, it doesn't matter the skin color or the background. Every human being who gets to be born has a plant that also is connected to them. That's why no one sees how the forest grows up. That's no one sees how the forest gets to be. Just wake up one day and then it's like a forest, right? So we all have a plant in the vegetation that we are connected to. Like I have to know my plants. I have to know my plant I'm connected to, that connect to my spirit, that end up becoming like the foundation of everything that I'll be using, I'll be doing in my healing, proceed and all of that, right? And then when it comes to the star, I have to connect to the one that I'm connected to so that, when I'm trying to guide someone towards elevation, towards enlightenment and all of that, I'm dependent on that one as well. Now, the our understanding of the astronomy, the star system in the universe is that it's not like the way people wrote about the Dogon's travel to, the Orion constellation, the Sirius system, Sirius star, it's not like that. It didn't work like that because obviously it's not possible. And it's not also that the alien came to visit. It's not possible. I always tell people like if alien decide to come visit Dogon, when there's many other tribes that exist that didn't receive that visit and they came to visit our people, that's because we learn how to stand very well on earth. Our ancestors learn how to stand on earth. And you see how we want to understand how the moon is affecting us, how the sun is affecting us, how all of the other constellations and all of that affecting us on our position from our position on earth. We don't get to really focus on the fact that we are living on one planet as well. We are living on one celestial body, that is Earth. But because we live on it, we will have the tendency to forget that it's a celestial body. And then in our tribe, what our ancestors did is that instead of trying to, look far in the sky, you look far in the universe to see what's there and try to understand what's there and what's affecting them, they just decided to have the very basic understanding. The Earth, that the planet that we live on is part of the universe. It's part of the star system that exists. So because of that, anything we want to understand about the moon, let's go through this one. This planet will have the connection with the moon, and we depend, our destiny is linked to it. So if we want to understand anything about the moon, yeah, we go through this one that we stand on. So this is how, we kind of, perceive the existence, how existence is becoming, and then, try to just kind of, subscribe ourselves to the forces that are, making existence become.
Awesome. So while you were talking, I was trying to look up some of the PDFs that your team provided to us. So we did get a whole slew of PDFs from your team for some valuable information for you to share with our audience. So Naba actually provided some PDFs and ebooks for you all to be contributed to the BIPOC Healing Collection. So can you speak? Because I know people are like, I want to learn more. This is so amazing and
Yeah.
so much, sharing so much with us. So before we let you go, I'm also going to share your links again in the chat so people can come and learn more on your retreats and come hear you speak or come to any herbal offerings you may have. Would you mind sharing what resources you do have in the BIPOC Healing Collection that will be released tomorrow, y'all?
Well, uh, we have a book, a collection of recipes that we put together that we call the Healing Kitchen. Uh,
Yes.
the Healing Kitchen, like everything you have in your kitchen, is medicine. And knowing the composition or what comes with what, for what, and all of that is only thing that people don't have most of the time. And we just look at everything in our kitchen as food. But food supposed to be, for well-being, you know. So then we put some collections of wisdom of how to use certain things depending on how grandmothers in our tribe, mix things, to kind of cause healing, cause stability in the body and then harmony in the body and all of that. We have that. And then we also are working on the food pyramids, how we understand food and how human beings supposed to be, eating food and all of that, the diet. And we have also, on the website, when you go, you'll see that we have a lot of multiple, things that, we sell, that we provide, that kind of, help the human being also, align themselves and everything. So we kind of, have a lot of things that, on top of my brain right now, I don't think I can recite everything, but you go to Ancaster website, you will see everything. And then feel free, anything that you buy, honestly, anything that you buy, anything that you do, any money that you pay, we just go back and then we give back to our elders. We dig wells, we put children to school, because if I didn't get a chance to go to school, but still connected to the initiatic system, but somehow going to the European school to learn, I'm not going to be here sharing this. So we saw the value in the concept of exposing our youth from our Dogon lands, exposing them to the modern education, with that allowing them to cut off, from their umbilical cord that constitute the Dogon, everything that they have in their villages. So we supporting them as well in that manner, and other thing. We have also a displacement program that we're working on, and anything that we get, just go back to, take care of those people because of terrorist activities, So some of our villages actually have to be, have to run, have to exile and then be in the cities because we have a lot of gold and a lot of diamond, uranium, and oil and all of that. So, the superpowers are there trying to dig and sending mercenaries and calling it terrorist activities. I think the news, when you go on the news, you will see what's happening. It's been happening since 2014 up until now. We're still struggling, and everyone has to leave. So, whatever we do now is what's kind of taking care of them, buying grains, buying things, and taking care of them, and all of that. So, we really appreciate, you know, any support, which also supports yourself by harmonizing the body, the spirit, and the energies.
That's what this conference is for. We have
Thank you.
this conference so that we can help support Indigenous communities. So
Thank you.
I wanted to just bring up this 50-page ebook that Naba is including in the collection, y'all. 50 pages, 50
Yeah.
pages, The Healing Kitchen.
Yes.
And this will be on sale tomorrow. The collection, the BIPOC Healing Collection, is $29.99. And so to help support Nabarata's community, his tribe, go to his bio. Admin drop the links in the chat. Go directly to his bio and purchase a collection from him. That money will be sent back to his tribe, like he just mentioned, to support everything that he mentioned. If you see any other herbalists here in the conference that you resonated with, go and buy the collection from them. Don't buy it from me. I don't need the money. Go buy it from them. This conference is for them so we can send back aid and funds to these Indigenous
Yeah.
communities. The collection will be on sale starting tomorrow. It is $29.99. It is almost 30 plus ebooks, guides, PDFs, and resources for you all to continue learning the Indigenous medicine from all of the speakers here. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now, for showing up. We dropped the links in the chat on where we can follow you, your retreats and everything. And I've been showing everyone love in the chat, and I've been asking everybody what's their favorite color so that we can show you our gratitude through emojis, because we're Gen Zs and millennials over here. So please let us know what your favorite color is.
Blue. Blue.
Ooh, we can tell from what you got on. Go ahead and get
Yeah.
some blue hearts. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
We
you. Thank you.
appreciate you. I learned a lot towards the end. I think I learned a lot during the Q&A session. So I value you and your knowledge, and we hope to have you back on our platform next year, hopefully before this. And so we do thank you so much. Look at all that love. Look at
Thank
that
you.
love.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
the opportunity. Thank you for the opportunity. And we really, I mean, in my culture, we say anything that contribute to elevate you, you say thank you. It's not enough. Thank you is not enough. But as you said, I'll be available anytime you need me. I'll make myself available to continue sharing. It's the era of sharing. And that's why we travel to share and all of that. And thank you for all of the loves.
Thank you. Thank you for answering the call. We're going to have you back. No worries.